The Bunker Project is brought to you by Black Beer.
Okanagan Springs Black. In fact, Okanagan Springs Brewmeister Black. Black. Awesome beer. All right. I've already gone through a whole pint. It's just so smooth.
It evaporated. Welcome back to the show. We've got an awesome show lined up. We're doing LinkedIn today.
Yeah.
With LinkedIn expert Ian Nethercott.
All right. Actually, let's come on profit. But the other spelling. All right. I'm going to take a picture.
So we're going to do a roundtable introduction as usual. And what are we going to do, Bob?
Let's have a LinkedIn question. Question is, what are you doing on LinkedIn right now? So I'll start.
Okay.
It's easy. I've been hanging out with Ian a lot, and he's like, God damn it, Bob, get your LinkedIn profile together. So I'm going to go into LinkedIn, and I'm going to update my LinkedIn. I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to try and get it a little bit more functional. And I realized today that I use another really cool website called Visify. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that one. Visify, and what it does is it takes all the data from my LinkedIn account and makes a visual representation of it. And then on my email, it's got this cool little Visify plug, and you click on it, and it'll take you to the Visify site, and it's a virtual, me portfolio, except it's all visual. It's very, very cool. So, yeah, that's a nice bonus tip. So definitely upgrading my LinkedIn account. And the other big thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be changing my profile picture.
So not a boudoir one? Is that what you're saying?
That's huge for me, man.
He's had that picture
huge.
for years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been stand, and I've always been choose a picture, stick with it. I cannot stand it when people every 2 weeks they change it on Facebook because they think they're being clever on Facebook because people so and so changed their Facebook image, so that's going to drive me to their site. I really want to see a picture of the person so I can recognize them, get used to looking at it, and when my phone comes up, because my phone address book is linked to the Facebook, I say, that's Bonnie, cool, boom, I will talk to that person. A lot of times now, it's like if I don't see a picture of the person, I don't know, I don't recognize this person, so maybe I won't talk to him. So consistency. So I'll do an instant rollout, basically stay up late one night and try and change all my pictures on the
600 profiles.
Yeah, fuck. It's going to be crazy. And it's a cool picture. It's not super straight, but it's also not as crazy with the guy on his head. That's party animal. So we'll see. It's more smug. A lot of people might not like it. Oh, that Bob, he's so smug. He's nasal and smug.
As long as it's not a nasal picture.
Ooh, very nice. All right, Andrew, what are you doing with your LinkedIn account?
Well, I listened to watched a few videos a while back with Lewis Howes and what's that other guy? What's
Danny DeVito? He's a big LinkedIn.
Knievel or whatever.
Knievel?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kevin Knievel or whatever.
Yeah.
And I tweaked my profile a little bit and made it easier to find keywords and things like that. So I'm going to listen to what Ian has to say, and I'm going to apply some of the stuff that we learned.
Sweet.
And I also had a question about open networkers and
well, you're going to save that for the show.
Yeah.
So
that'll come.
All right.
Rock God.
The Rock God.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Back in the
rocking
coop.
it.
Back
He's
in the coop.
back in Vancouver. He's been in how long?
About
6
a month.
weeks?
No, about a month.
1 month.
Only
in
a
Mazatlan.
month.
Wow.
Mazatlan, Mexico. Yeah, it was quite a party, but it's good to be back. And I'm Paul the Rock God, as I said. I'm at Paul the Rock God, rockgod.ca. And for LinkedIn, I'm fairly newbie. I didn't use it when I was in Mexico, so I just was on today trying to update it, and I need to learn more about it. So I'm looking forward to today's show.
Cool.
Sanj Sukarkar, Genesis Designs, at Genesis Designs, genesisdesigns.ca. Ditto what Paul just said. I started off LinkedIn pretty crazy, got involved in groups, went really, really crazy, and now my engagement has gone down almost to zero. I go once in a blue moon, post on LinkedIn, but I'm really, really, really curious to see what Ian has to say.
I'm going to pass it over to everyone else and get to it after, but you could definitely join my group on LinkedIn. I just set up a new group the other day. It's called How to Create Real Clients with Social Media, and it's 100% free. And I'll be going into more stuff on LinkedIn. For me, LinkedIn is something I do daily, and it gets me a lot of business. That's why I do it.
Cool.
Margaret at BC_InsuranceGal, BCInsuranceGal.com. On LinkedIn, post regularly, still can get better engagement from it. So there's a lot still I have yet to learn. Done some tweaking, has some videos, but I can upgrade my profile and make it a lot more proactive.
Bonnie Sainsbury at B Sainsbury, www.socialmediasmarter.com.
Dub in it.
Dub.
In the hood, yeah. Triple dub.
So my LinkedIn profile has always been keyword optimized. The trickiest thing I had done a long time ago was to have all the books that I read. So I put them up every once in a while. And it worked, getting more people to attracting them to my profile. I don't go on very often. I do look on to see who has contacted me, and I send them a little email and say, thank you very much. Is there something I can do to help you?
So after you read a book, you post a little blurb about the book?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's good.
And other people change their profile.
Yeah.
I do this and it shows up on the newsfeed.
Mm-hmm.
I also use Buffer to schedule
Yeah.
business-related articles. Much the same. Well, it's exactly the same process I use for Twitter and Facebook, but it's different content. And the other thing, my little secret weapon, is endorsements. I love endorsements. And if you want more endorsements, go out and endorse other people. It's that easy. I've got a ton of them. And truly, early on, I just played around and I thought, I wonder what this does. So I endorsed about, 10 people. And I got a whole bunch of people back who endorsed me. And I thought, okay, this is easy. So that's what I've done. And then I read an article not long ago saying they're thinking about decommissioning endorsements. So there goes my secret weapon.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Why would they?
That was short-lived.
I thought it was great.
I thought they were going to be utilizing them more into the SEO part of it.
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
It wasn't April Fool's. And I didn't.
Oh, gee, that would be a great segue for. Do you want to do the April Fool's? Talk a little bit of
Yeah.
April
Well, hang on,
Fool's stuff.
hang on,
once we
we're
get
not
around?
done yet.
We got one more.
Oh, hey, we got a newbie in the house.
Hello, I'm Brian Street, and my Twitter account is at Brian Street, like the street you live on.
Yep.
I'm a realtor with Remax here in Vancouver, and my public weapon on LinkedIn are the recommendations, because my contacts can write them themselves. They post them themselves. I can't do it for them, so it appears to be more genuine. So I really
Do you
like
think
this.
they are, or do you pay people to do it?
haven't
Nah,
paid
just
anybody
kidding.
yet.
Just being an asshole. Sorry.
I've got about 600 people on LinkedIn, and I'm paying for the enhanced account. However, I haven't really investigated or done enough to benefit from it. So that's one of my interests. And I'm also interested in the $50 credits I keep getting that I haven't used
$50
so-
credits for. Oh,
for
okay.
free advertising.
Advertising.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
They,
haven't
they have
used-
advertising and HR credits depending on your account.
It's just like Google. I get email. I guess like, hey, here's $100. Here's, I'll get around it. They just keep
And you
sending
never
it to
do.
me. Yeah, but the thing is, once I've used one of those, then they'll pull my plug and whatever. So, what was that segue we were gonna do?
Oh,
April Fools.
April Fools. There's
Just
a
kidding.
ton of April
All right,
Fools
my
stuff.
favorite one, because everybody I'm sure is going to talk about, would be Google Knows, and my daughter was doing these calisthenics with her computer. I said, "What the hell are you doing? You're upside down with it." And say, "I'm trying to smell. It's just not working." And what are you doing? It's like, it's Google Knows, man. It's you can smell stuff on the internet now. And I said, "Honey, you have just been totally pawned." So she was very pissed off about that. But yeah, and there was another one, but I'll maybe if it doesn't come up, I'll mention it. But Google is really into this April Fool's thing. I mean, they spend a lot of money. It's not small stuff. It'll have a corporate video behind it, production, throwing some serious bucks. So yeah, definitely. I thought 2 thumbs up for theirs for the Google Nose. Brian, did you discover any cool practical jokes on the internet when you, or maybe you don't even know about it yet?
There was something about Gmail Blue on.
Yes,
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was
a
my
good
other
one.
Yeah.
What was that one about? I missed that one.
Well, basically, it's taking the piss out of Facebook or Microsoft Word, and they had these really earnest videos, almost Apple-esque. It's like, well, yeah, the button is blue, and when you click on it, it turns blue, and then it takes you to another page which has blue. Blue is the answer. And it goes on and on. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. So basically, they're taking the piss out of corporate videos that are so earnest, but really are BS. And also having fun with their brand. So I thought it was very clever. All they did is take their Gmail interface and just make everything blue. But somebody had to code that. Like they took the original code and then changed all these colors to blue. And it was done. Very, very strange bunch of people.
What was your favorite, Bonnie?
It was the fellow from Syrah.
Oh, missed that one.
Oh, so I think everybody on the board at Syrah is extremely
Goofy.
serious.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
No.
And I was just at a Syrah reception, and yeah, they are stick up the bum people. So he gets on and he says that they've waited, and you know what? For the first 10 seconds, he had me because he said that they're having there's this big announcement, and I thought, why didn't they just tell us about it last week? And they went, Bonnie, get it. So his announcement was that they were going to change .cas to .eh. So instead of
Far better representation for Canada, especially NHL.eh,
Yeah.
maplesyrup.eh.
yeah,
My-
.a,
my-
yeah,
my
hockey.a.
Well, I guess we
My
could
light bulb
we
just
could
went
request
off.
that now with the new top level domains, right?
That was pretty good.
It was. I like that one, and the fact that he was so serious about it.
Yeah, he kept a straight face.
Yeah, and like I say, for the first 10 seconds, I thought, why wouldn't they announce it when we were there?
I think my favorite one was the fact that YouTube has just been his whole joke the whole time, and it's just been a big contest to find the
right.
best video. The really funny part is I went on to my video manager later on in the afternoon. It had all these little things and everything. It was like, your video's been nominated. I'm like, I sent it to Bonnie. I said, this must have just made a lot of people's days, thinking, oh, I feel so special. But yeah, it's like, it was cute.
April Fools.
Anybody else?
No, I didn't have any online.
Okay, what about WestJet's or Virgin's glass bottom plane? No, come on, they spent some big bucks setting that up too.
Yeah.
I'd almost believe them that they would actually do that, though.
They're a very fun airline, though. Very fun.
Well, hey, it's James is in the hood. James Carrick just wandered into the room in a daze. I think he's working off a hangover because he's got a non-alcoholic beverage in his hand. He's got the vitamin.
He's vitamined up.
He's got vitamin multi-vector vitamin juice. Awesome. Dude, we're talking about. Well, you can mic up and headphone up, and then we'll ask you a question.
And WestJet did do one. They did the one about the animals and
the furry
you're allowed-
your furry family.
Yeah, any animals, bears, and the best one was when they opened the washroom and there's a bear taking a crap in there.
Or the
Yeah.
crocodile,
Bear
crocodile in
Does
the
the bear shit in the
yeah,
woods?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
He's
that's
in
it depends if
the-
he's in a
the-
park area.
Yeah.
He wasn't in first class, that's for sure.
Well, the
They
one
don't,
that
they don't
made
have
me-
first class in WestJet. Not currently.
They have panda class.
They're talking about it, though.
The one that made me laugh is the one James put on Facebook.
James, you
James?
don't.
Wow.
Yeah, the
spoofed
Facebook
us.
was in the process of acquiring startup Bang with Friends.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. According to sources, multiple sources, in order to make a foray into the online dating space,
And make real money.
$30 million in both cash and stock. And
Should have been 300 million. Be more of a big
No.
deal.
it gets funny
very
as the article gets. This one was TechCrunch, and as the article gets down closer to the end, it said this is in anticipation of Google launching Google Fuck.
No way. That's hilarious.
Well,
Yes,
it was
ri-
Google, get it on.
F asterisk CK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they wanted to go up against Tinder and Grindr and all those things.
Robust staff penetration and rumors that
nice.
Google is building a competitive hookup platform called Google *CK.
Wow.
Anyways, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that one
funny.
was pretty good. The WestJet one was pretty sad this year. Hootsuite was good.
You thought
Oh, yeah, what
the
was
bottom
Hootsuite?
glass? You didn't like that?
Hootsuite is protecting your social identity. But I can't remember more than that.
Oh, wasn't that Hootsuite Foil?
Yeah. Hootsuite Foil.
My screen.
And then what else was a good one? Oh, my favorite one was the Vancouver Canucks traded Corey Schneider for Lucic.
Oh, I heard that.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
Well, it was just a hockey thing,
Okay.
and it seemed to be the most plausible of all the April Fool's jokes. It seems
Yeah.
like there's too many this year.
I read that and then I was like, Schneider, really? Why?
Yeah, and the other one that was really good was Reddit buying Team Fortress 2. But then they were like, Team Fortress 2 was like, well, we had a pigeon come in and we ended up buying Reddit. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them
Wow.
kind of hit and miss.
Yeah. We can't
All right.
expect to go viral all the time.
My favorite other one was also Andrew with the picture without any eyebrows.
Oh, that was the best
That was
one.
a good April Fool's joke.
Who the hell is that, Mr. Clean?
Yeah.
I should have done that one.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, next year.
And maybe Bob gets leg implants.
Yeah, no. I'll do the nasal. I'll do Bob do the nasal operation finally.
Just you ever see those ones where it's like the overcoat and they've got the two people on top of each other? You should do that with Andrew and be like, I grew.
Yeah. Suddenly Bob's 5'4".
Aren't you 5'4"?
No way. Are you kidding? I dream about being 5'4".
So, James, you missed the roundtable introduction. We just introduced ourselves and said what we're doing on LinkedIn. So,
What are we doing on LinkedIn?
Yeah, what's your LinkedIn
doing on
strategy?
LinkedIn?
What are you doing in
Well, what
particular?
have you been doing recently on LinkedIn? Have you been logging and actually using it?
Yeah, I've been using it quite a bit these days.
Excellent.
You can look for me on there, James Carg. There's actually a
Gaming
lot of
dude?
James Cargs on there,
Really?
which is surprising. One owns a box factory. I can't make that up.
Cool.
And
You
then
can maybe
there's a
ask for some free
13-year-old.
boxes.
There's a 13-year-old that says he works for Aperture Science, which is interesting as well. But
What-
I've been
what-
using it to help people kind of connect to each other.
Stay away from 13-year-olds.
Dude, what about the gaming
Sam
community?
just speaking from experience.
Yeah, harsh.
Were you in that CBC thing this week?
Is that your photo, man?
Yeah, that's my photo.
God, how old is that?
That's like 5 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's
it.
in diapers.
Doesn't even look like you,
13,
man.
When he was 13.
Hey, it's a sexy photo.
Doesn't even look like him.
What's the coolest group on LinkedIn for you? What would you say?
As far as groups go, I mean, they've all kind of been
I think
taken
must
off
have like
of
a
my.
gaming thing, or
Well, they do. I mean, I've got quite a few groups on there. I seem to like the endorsements. They seem to be better because it's just a click thing, so people
oh yeah,
they
it's,
don't really have to think about it.
It's
but
like candy.
yeah, it's not bad. As far as groups go, I mean, I don't really follow a lot of the groups because there's a lot of people doing hard sells in the groups all the time.
Okay.
So most of the
But-
time,
but-
it's not like worth it. Like,
But
if I
isn't that
wanna go
that
into-
cool gaming startup crowd that we did beer pong like about 9 months ago? I think.
That's
and-
my own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but aren't those like
Nobody
don't- they don't have groups?
It isn't spread through that. It's more Meetup actually. I find
Really?
for more
Interesting.
groups that I use. Quora is really good for answering questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn, most of my digests, I guess is what they call them, from your groups that get sent out to you, just go stagnant because I don't look at them. So they're like, yeah, we're not going to send them to you anymore. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's other way. That's the whole thing. Is like, my whole thing is people will consume the content in the format that they're most relaxed in. So some people like Facebook, some people like Twitter, some people like LinkedIn. So it's almost like you have to be servicing all the major platforms. But with LinkedIn, I feel that there's more business-to-business opportunities there.
There could
than
be
anything else.
There's a infographic posted today about how LinkedIn was used mostly for voyeurism rather than any actual.
I would say
content.
Facebook is more voyeuristic.
Yeah, any
you know?
day. Any day.
Big time. I'm okay.
I was doing that today.
Who exactly? Whenever you get a new friend, right, a hunky guy, maybe has a tight butt, you go straight to his picture and say, "Who's he hanging with?" And okay, I'm a guy. I don't do it with guys, but I mean girls.
Sure sounded
like-
like it.
Well, I was looking at Bonnie. I just didn't want to get trashed by the tech girls. It's like, oh, he's such a sexist bastard. bastard. So I think.
Well, Bob, we already know you're a pig.
Anyways,
But that's why we love you.
Oh,
So you actually
it's my oink appeal.
you actually go stalk people on Facebook rather than LinkedIn.
I LinkedIn. I was like, no, it's too many words on LinkedIn for me to. I mean, they don't. There's no like picture zone, is there?
So you'd prefer a visual LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm a total visual guy. I don't like. I'm not like. What do you call that soft porn that you read? What's it called?
Harlequin.
Stories.
Harlequin. Yeah, it's not like That's it's Facebook is more photo paparazzi style, and then it would be more Harlequin literary prose and stuff like that. In LinkedIn, it's more of a written format.
Well,
Too many big words.
G plus,
Yeah,
G
way
plus
too many
just
big words.
Way too serious? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, don't top for me! Oh my God, I'm
G plus
dying.
has a picture only feed now.
The plus.
That's cool. Hey, I just
I like
got.
G+.
This is the first time that I've actually just now, while you guys were all talking, I got 2 emails from the voicemail feedback line.
No way. Shall we play them
Why
raw?
don't we listen?
So usually I listen to them before
What happened, man?
and decide if they're.
This is
you
Revenue
know.
Canada. We would like you to talk to us.
So should I?
Shit.
Should we just like
Let's go for
play
it.
them live?
Yeah. This is fun.
All right, let's see what's going on here with
there we
our
go.
voicemail
Forget it.
feedback line.
I was like,
Okay, here
They're
we go.
screwing around with their mics. Make them stop.
I wasn't. I was just sitting here.
Hey, Bunker Project folks, it's Norm.
Oh,
the,
Norm.
Hi,
the,
Norm.
the Norm Maven. Hey, I noticed that you're doing LinkedIn today.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I just signed up for it because
Good man.
Bob sent me a link. Anyways, just wondering with LinkedIn,
Sorry.
how powerful a tool is it? Does it really work? Anyways, have a great show tonight, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye. I would say if you're a tool, it has power.
Yeah, definitely has lots of power.
Yeah.
actually.
I think Bonnie has 75,000 contacts on LinkedIn.
Do you?
Oh wait, that's Twitter. That's Twitter.
More than that on Twitter. I don't have very
Well,
many.
you cut it down. I mean, you had like massive amounts, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
did.
just like hacked away at it. The Grim Reaper. They call her
I
Bonnie.
think I got, I don't know, 400 or 500 on LinkedIn, only because I pinned there.
That's in the top 2% though.
I was in the top 5%. Go figure.
No, I'm in the top 5.
Well, there you go. All right. So,
So the second voicemail feedback.
Oh,
let's
we
just
got another
see,
one.
Let's
Excellent.
just see who this is.
it's probably the same guy.
It's Norm Maven again.
I
Hey,
knew
other
it.
Mavens. One other question with LinkedIn. What can you do to your profile to make it stand out or make it more marketable? Bye.
Nude pictures.
Good question.
Yeah.
All right. So does
So
it really?
I think that's a good start to
question
to
is
Korean.
how powerful a tool is it? Does it really work? And how do you set up your profile?
I would take the second question first, and then once we finished up, then we could do the power thing.
Well, how powerful is it? Well, I mean,
Or
first,
not.
first of all, you've got to look at it from a point of view of I've been in sales for over 20 years in different industries. I've used a lot of different database-based products. Years ago, I used one called Hoovers, which predates LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the largest business database in the world. It's got roughly 220 million members worldwide. The average age demographic is older, obviously, than Facebook as a general rule, but the average income is over 100,000, and these are decision makers. So if you're looking to target business to business or business to consumer, and you want to target people who have money, it's a great starting point. Now, is it a powerful tool? Absolutely. I do most of my sales using LinkedIn in one form or another. Bob and I recently had the opportunity to talk to one of the top LinkedIn people in the world. He has 30,000 connections, which is the maximum. He's linked to 60 million people and does business in 45 countries. 95% of his business comes from LinkedIn. In terms of profile optimization, what's really scary on LinkedIn is how little people know about profile optimization and how little they're taking advantage of it. Think about it this way. Years ago when you were looking through the yellow pages to find a business, they're either there or they're not. If you're not there on LinkedIn, it's really simple. People search for things all the time. If you're just not on page one, they just don't call you. So how important is it? It's crucial. The more important thing about it is that most of the people in your space don't know how to use it either. So if you know more than them, coincidentally, they're the person you call. How important is that for me? In what I do, I mean, I get a lot of business from LinkedIn. I get a lot of people look at my profile, and optimizing it isn't that hard. Now, there has been some changes recently. You may be familiar with people stuffing their profile on LinkedIn. So what they do is they put a lot of SEO terms in blocks of text. So it's basically gobbledygook. LinkedIn has adapted to that.
Yeah, but if you actually went to someone's page and it was just nothing but keywords,
understand.
You
but
would
if
probably
I
not call them anyways. would you?
understand, but if I've got 12 people on page one, I do a search for whatever it is that you do. If you're not on that page, let's say 5 of them have gobbledygook, they're going to call the other 5, probably. If you don't exist, just like on first page of Google, you just don't get a call.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not a good guy. They don't
just
really
not
care.
there.
You just don't exist. People's attention span is yay big, as you know.
But also a lot of the times when you're visiting a site, you'll see the person's picture, you'll see what they do, you see the experience they do. You don't really dig really deep into
picture
their
is
profile.
picture
so you don't
is
see
key.
that's- yeah.
Boudoir photos from college, not a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a
Just
professional
not a good
portfolio,
idea.
right?
Yeah,
You don't do some
not saying they aren't
material work.
nice, but not a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what do
it
you
goes back
actually
to-
do on LinkedIn, or what is your technical term these days? 'Cause I'm interested to see how you're using it.
LinkedIn to me is a sales tool and a marketing tool. So what I do is I look for clients, potential clients, and connections that lead to clients and potential clients, and I look at it as part of a sales process.
Yeah.
So I look at a couple areas on a daily basis, and I'd recommend spending, I don't know, somewhere between 15 minutes and half an hour. If you don't get any value from it, then you don't need to continue if you don't want to. The more time you spend with LinkedIn, the better you know the actual system, the more effective it'll be. Not only that, the more money you'll make. The person in the world that Bob and I talked to, he spent, how did he get to 30,000? Because that's the next question we asked, because I didn't even know there was a max.
Did you get 30,000?
I didn't even know there was a max, and I sure as hell didn't know what it was. The
I
biggest
didn't
number
know
I'd
that
ever
either.
heard was 17,500 at that point.
Yeah.
He spent 2 hours a day for a year. He now has more connections than I think. Well, I mean, there's maybe a handful of people in the world who have that number. But more effectively, he uses those connections. He uses those. Now, how is that? How powerful is that? Well, think about it as the 7 degrees of separation. I don't know if you're familiar at all with that 7 degrees of
6.
separation.
6.
Whatever that is.
I
So
think it's
if
like-
I want to
It's the
meet
7 degrees of
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
yeah. So if I want to meet Bill Gates or I want to do business with, one of the guys in the Dragon's Den, whatever, if I've got 30,000 connections, I've probably got a couple hundred that are common. So coincidentally, I can get a meeting without being on television. I don't need to be on television.
So let's talk technique here, because I've seen Ian work LinkedIn, and it's really, really interesting. Tell us about that technique where
Okay.
you want to connect with somebody, you find out the familiars, you cut and paste. Remember
Okay.
that?
So first of
talk
all,
through that one.
there was a question about profile. So let me just go
Yeah.
over profile real quick. First of all, look in your space for the keywords that you would search for. So put yourself in the shoes of a client. They're searching for you on LinkedIn, much like on the Yellow Pages, old school. What are they looking for? Figure out those 10 SEO terms. If you're a web guy, you should already know them. Do a search in LinkedIn. For example, if I'm a web designer, web design in Vancouver. Who's on page 1? And more importantly, are you on page 1? If you're not, fix it. Because these other guys clearly, are stealing your business right now and you're not aware of it. So let's take, I don't know, what do you want to use that as an example? Sure. Okay.
No, let's
So
talk about insurance.
Let's use web design in Vancouver.
Look at that. Sanj is drooling. He said, yes, tell me how to do it, goddammit.
What about Rock God? Come on.
Web design in Vancouver. We're going to pull it up as a search. I'm going to look at people. I can search by multiple terms. The first person is Philip Horseman. It's a group. I have no idea. He's in Australia, coincidentally, which is kind of funny. Steve Carpenter, I don't know who he is, but he's number 2, so he'd be one I'd call. Matt Astafan's sister, who I don't think even does web design, is number 3 in the world. Coincidentally, Matt Astafan is number 4. Okay? Number 5 is Eric Kamajudu. I have no idea who he is. Nat Green. I mean, these people are the people that people will call.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this search? Is this?
You did web design and Vancouver.
Yeah.
Is this
You
specific?
just do web design, but then it won't be, that'll be world. You want the world?
Yes.
Okay, web design in the world. Let's see who comes up.
But is this specific to you? This search?
'Cause
If I
Sanj
did
will
this-
You
come
can
up.
do the same search. You
it's
have
a
the same-
worldwide search.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a database.
It's
so
like
it's
a
Oracle.
Google search.
It's
of
a- it's
all
not
It's
the-
based-
Oracle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not
And
based-
it also links to Google, so it's on the net as well.
It's not based on your connections?
Nope.
No.
Nope. If you have a kick-ass profile, you have no connections, you still up on page 1. Doesn't matter.
So you're saying
So
that
if-
LinkedIn profile is Google crawls through it?
Yeah. If
I
you
thought it was,
search
Yep.
you search for your
Yeah,
name
it's
or the
keywords
same
or
term,
keywords.
it'll show up on Google.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's
So, for
my LinkedIn
example,
profile.
in the world, there's over 2,767,555 people who do web design who are on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So there's 2 million people. Now, of course, if I'm a web designer and I'm on page 1 of that list, now do I get some pretty big web contracts? Probably. Coincidentally, of these people, I could probably very easily show you how to beat most of them. It's not that hard. Coincidentally, most of them probably don't even know how they got there because they just don't understand how to use the tool. Now, what does that mean? Well, obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, follow the people who do, or at least right now. So if I was doing this, I'd look at the first guy here, which is Seed Ifran. I don't know where he is. He's in Arizona. I would look at his profile, and I'd see what he's doing, and I would do better.
Yeah, okay. Well, what Ian's talking about is find out the area that you're in competition with and study how people have used keywords within that profile. And if there's stuff, and right now, people used to stuff it like saying,
yeah, they're not really anymore.
Well, yeah, because
they're getting killed.
LinkedIn figured it out, and they're basically anybody that's doing that gets bumped off the page. So it's kind of like Google changing the algorithm. So yeah, you can cheat the system a little bit, but eventually the coders will catch up with you and you disappear. So you might as well do great content and do it legitimately. It makes a lot more sense, and you get a more solidified base.
But if you still look at the first person, obviously they've been vetted already. So however they're doing it must be right if they're number one.
Well, I'll give you a sense. If you look at social media in the world, guess how many results?
Oh, there must be like hundreds of millions.
4,458,290 results. Guess where I rank in the world? Not in Vancouver, in the world.
5.
I'm number 3 in the world myself. Okay. Guess what? Canada's number 1 LinkedIn expert. She's number 1, 2, 3. She's 2 below me. She's supposed to be the expert.
That's dirty.
I'm kicking
She's
her ass
below
pretty clearly.
So who's number 1, by the way?
Our buddy, Mr. Mark.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
he's the man.
Who's Mark?
He's got 30,000 connections in the world. He gets 800 emails a day.
That's the guy we talked about earlier
He's the
in the
man.
show.
So coincidentally, how do we do that? Well, first of all, study. So if, for example, you're looking at that on a daily basis or even on a weekly or monthly basis, you can look at what these people are doing. But what does that mean? Well, if I do a search, and I show up in searches now about 75 times a day, I get people looking at my profile. I can also see who's looking at my profile and turn them into a lead.
I get 75 people viewing my profile a day.
But
Cool.
do you know who they are?
They don't connect to me, though.
But do you know who they are? And are you connecting to them?
Yeah, I see who they are. I'm just like, who the fuck are you?
But are you connecting to them and turning it into money in your bank account?
I don't know. I'm like, that's creepy. What are they doing?
Doesn't matter.
Why don't you talk to me?
Turn it into
It's
money,
like a
man.
dating site.
No, it's not on Facebook. We're
Totally.
talking LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm talking LinkedIn.
It's not Facebook though.
I was in the top.
It's not stalkers.
5%.
They're actually looking to
I
probably
know
find
they're
out
probably
what you're doing.
finding, but why can't they send me a message? I mean, you were nice enough to send
Okay.
me, hey,
But you
I'm Ian
can't.
Nethercott. We
But-
might run in the same
but-
circles. And I'm
oh.
like, Ian, you know who I am. Why did you send me that message?
I'll give you a sense though. When you're looking at selling, and granted, a lot of people online don't know how to sell. They know how to send email, which is cool.
Yeah.
You have to take that conversation offline as quickly as possible. But
do.
you have to initiate it because they're not going to.
I send them emails and I'm like, hey, I see you've been looking at my profiles. Is there anything I can help you with?
And then
I
pick up the
never
phone
get
and-
replies.
Then pick up the phone.
I
And call.
never get replies back, though. And I don't understand.
Well, let me go over that a little bit. So
All right.
let's say, for
This is the
example,
trick. This is what
let's
you
say,
gotta
for
do.
example, okay, and I get this happening all the time. So what I do on a daily basis, multiple times a day, is I look at who's viewed my profile.
Yeah.
So say 80 people, I showed up in searches 80 times today. 24 of those people viewed my profile. So first of all, I look at who those people are. In my case, most of them are first-degree connections already because my network is expanding. But if the ones who aren't, what I do is there's a couple different ways to connect with those people. So if you're not a paid member of LinkedIn, I'd highly, highly recommend you become a paid member of LinkedIn for 2 reasons. Number one, once you're a paid member, they, unlike Facebook, they leave you alone and let you do pretty much whatever you want. In addition to that, you get access to better tools. If you know how to use those tools, it makes it more effective. Plus, you actually get good tech support because you're a paid member. So coincidentally, if I look down this list, all these people, this person here, Frank Medello or whatever his name is, okay? He's in Toronto. He's in the real estate business of some type. He's got here is Ontario Real Estate
It's only
College.
got 17 connections.
Yeah, so he's a newbie, but that doesn't matter. That means he'd be a good client for me, probably.
Yep.
But I have a couple different ways to connect to him. I can connect as an unsolicited email, which basically means I'm not spamming him, but I'm sending him an email hoping he likes it. So it's kind of like sending a friend request on Facebook to someone you may not know, and he's got 17 connections. So chances are I don't know him, but that's okay.
He'll be like, oh my God, somebody friended me.
Well, probably
Could
not.
be, could
Probably
be.
not because
He'll freak out.
It
It's
says
like,
here he's
ah.
a second-degree connection, so I have common connections anyway.
Oh, okay.
I can also, as a pay member, send something called InMail. If you're not familiar with InMail, it's kind
Awesome.
of like Dynamite. Okay, I can send someone an InMail. It's a registered electronic email that they have to answer yes or no. If they answer yes, I pretty much know they're interested.
Yeah.
Not only that, I can't get beaten down for using it. The only downside is a limited amount a month, and that's why obviously you want to pay LinkedIn. And in addition to that, it's really good for targeting people that, let's say you want to meet a CEO of a company that you have no connections to. You can reach out and touch that person. They
Barack
have to
Obama?
respond. Yeah, you could send
Yeah.
one to Barack
Are
Obama.
you
Yeah.
you're
Just like
secondary connection with Barack Obama? 'cause
I'm
you know
not,
me.
but I could probably find
Search
out.
Barack Obama. You're connected through me
So the thing.
because I have a friend that knows Barack Obama.
Oh, there you go.
connected?
So
How do you
he's
spell Barack? I don't even know. BAR?
ACK, yeah. Obama.
There he is. No, yeah, second degree connection.
See, there
So
you go. You probably got a lot more than just
Now,
me.
certain people, and
Now-
Barack Obama is one of them.
Now
'cause
you're
he's-
on a watch list.
No, that's not- he's actually a great. He's actually a great example because certain people like Barack Obama, you cannot send email to because you have to know him directly to connect. You don't have that option because he has over 800,000 followers because he's a celebrity, basically.
Yeah.
Celebrities have
So
different
his is
status.
a page, not a.
Well, that's
profile.
him, but he probably doesn't answer it. He's probably
No,
got
he's
I
got
have that
staff
problem
for
as
that.
well
Yeah,
with my rock god.
yeah. So like
What a dick! It says President of the United States is his like experience.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? He was a state senator,
and
man.
then it's got like a recommendation from Bill Clinton. It's like I had this job too.
Yeah. It's at University of Chicago Law School, 11 years.
There
Yeah,
you go.
exactly. Another
That's
lawyer.
that's another mistake people make with LinkedIn is they look at it as an online resume, which it is to a certain degree. But remember that it's not an online resume; it's a sales tool. If you do it properly, you can not only sell people things, you can get them interested. Now, a lot of people write it like I did this or this is what I did when I was 18 years old and all that stuff, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, but you got to focus on not only getting on page one, ideally for your field, but also using every character. And write something interesting. Don't write something that's like, yeah, okay, I had my paper route at 5
So-
years old. Or, I mean, who cares?
So I have a question because I did a search for
Yeah.
social media, and you're right up at the top, but you weren't in the same spot that.
Well,
when I
it
did.
changes. It's real time.
So I
dynamic.
did a search for podcasting, and I'm right on the top.
Yeah. So you're doing a good job.
So if you put it in, can you see if
Podcasting in Vancouver or just podcasting?
just
Just
podcasting?
podcasting.
Wow, you're near the top.
Yeah,
Wow.
he is the top.
Didn't know we were with celebrities here. Huh?
So podcasting.
What are you talking about?
You're
Bonnie has 100,000
you're
Twitter
number one.
followers.
You're number one on the all category, and if I
Okay.
look at people, you're
That's a
number
small
one.
town.
There's only 21,000 results, so you're the top person.
Yeah,
so
podcast is still
coincidentally,
pretty obscure.
people will probably contact you, or probably are already.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
people
something
are-
that actually makes you
people are
money,
asking
which is
questions and
Maven. No, I'm just kidding. We should
But-
talk about that later, though.
The other thing that's really changed recently on profiles is use of video. Years ago, there was only SlideShare. You may be familiar with SlideShare. They got bought by LinkedIn. So it's really like PowerPoint, basically, on LinkedIn. They're the largest PowerPoint site in the world. So if you want to look at PowerPoint presentations, they're the largest one. But recently, LinkedIn has added some new tools that allow video in any section. The reason I put video in any section is it dramatically improves your results, but more importantly, engages people. Because people don't want to read a lot of text anyway.
Yeah.
The more videos you put on there, the better. But be careful that you don't make the profile too long because people won't read the whole thing.
And videos about you, not your cat.
Well, it could be about anything, but it's got to be related.
And it can't be 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
I mean-
1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes max.
For example, I'd always put a quick video about yourself in the first section. Keep it 1 to 2 minutes. This new section, which is the new endorsement section, I recently moved it up because I'm testing it because I feel that people engage with that a little better. The other area that people don't realize, and this is an area that's really a good expert tip, is the project section. Now, people don't use this properly on a regular basis, and the reason is they don't understand it. For example, they put, I did a project for, Vancouver Public Library. Here's their website. Go check it out, right? That's the wrong way to use it. What you want to do when you see LinkedIn results strategy on my profile, when you click that, it doesn't go to who I helped. It goes to our capture page. It's the only place you can really put links on LinkedIn, and I don't think there's any limit to how many projects you can do. So coincidentally, if you had 5 capture pages, you could do 5 projects. You can name them anything they want, and when they click on it, it goes to a capture page. So if you want to capture people who are looking at your profile in a creative way and add value, you can do that, and it doesn't cost you anything.
I like it.
Not only that, you can put it anywhere in your profile because you can move it around. So you can actually turn the profile into a sales pitch if you're really smart. Coincidentally, as the people in your space get smarter, and you saw that, Andrew, because it's dynamic, I make a change in my profile, it happens immediately. The changes are live now. So coincidentally, every day people are changing their profile to try and jockey for position. So you have to constantly be looking to upgrade it and see what other people are doing. But of course, you can always steal good ideas.
Well, also, it
or better, or make better ones yourself if you want.
Yeah, well,
there's that
you're
old-
looking at stuff and you're saying, "Oh, okay, this is a great idea. I'm going to go do that," and then roll it out the next week, and boom, you get points. So it's an ongoing process, just like all social media sites. You can have like Bonnie with the Twitter account. You got to be messing with your Twitter account all the time, or you're just going to go below the bar.
Well, the other thing to talk about is recommendations, because we were talking about new ones and the old ones. The new ones are cool. I've had some reactions both ways from them. The old ones, you should have at least 20. And the reason is that's pretty much the most people can look at. And then after that, they don't really care. The visual ones are cool because I think the max is 99. And it's easy to give people kudos in it anyway, but most people don't know that. So they go, oh, this guy must be good. He's got 99 and everything, right? It's like 500 connections on LinkedIn. You're a superstar because they don't know, right?
And it's easy to do. I mean, LinkedIn is really pushing it because every time you open up your LinkedIn account, it's a big blue box turned up and say, here's Bob. Is he a social media specialist? And they go, yeah, he is. I know it for that. And it just qualifies you. Like,
I think it's
amazing.
the reason they put that in there is so it's more of a gamified
Yes.
system.
Oh, absolutely.
It
So-
brings you
So
back
are you
to
a
the
rock star on it?
page.
Well, I mean, I've got I think 40 people recommending me for game design, which is
That's
pretty
nice,
awesome.
yeah.
But it allows people to feel intrinsic rewards by getting those endorsements, and people giving them makes them feel
It makes
good.
you feel good about being on LinkedIn.
And it's only one click. I mean, it's not a huge deal.
It's
It's-
a great move.
it's
though, for
super
that.
easy,
It's a
but
great
I have
move.
been recommended in things that I'm not really good at
Yeah.
sometimes, and I'm just like, do you even know me?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but that's-
I was talking to Ian about this. Is what it is for you. It's a survey about how people perceive who you are, and this is invaluable. Like I look at my thing, I've got 99 plus for social media specialists, but for design and desktop publishing, I've got like 12 people. So I'm recognized as a social media specialist, but I make all my money doing those other things. So it's like, well, okay. I'm marketing to the wrong demographic, so I've got to shift my marketing over to what people perceive that I'm good at.
Well, you
Because
can
if I'm
also
doing
ask
the other
for
one, I'm
written.
fighting
You
up
can
a
also
hill.
ask for written recommendations.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And the best way to get those is to recommend other people.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there was a section of LinkedIn that was really cool called Questions and Answers, but they got rid of it. Which really kind of sucks because I really liked it. But the new
Did they
section to look
replace
at
it,
is,
or?
well, groups is really the new section to look at.
But the question and answer.
Yeah, the groups are good.
Oh, they were awesome because
are
it was really.
It was actually
made it-
people asking good questions.
It was cool.
Well, not only that, it was a great marketing source because
Yeah.
people would basically paint targets on their own heads.
Well, it's
Yep.
like
Yeah, it
it's
was
like
cool.
Quora.
Yeah, it was cool.
You can go do that with Quora.
Okay. Well, so let's just look at. I mean, people are listening. We're talking a million miles an hour at a very, very high level. So let's simplify it. I remember Ian saying, "Hey, look at. Let's find out what people are desperately needing social media." So, social media consulting and content and stuff like that. So we posted a question saying, "What frustrates you about social media?" That was the question, and we got all these people saying, "Oh my God, it's this," and so. And then those people became targets. It's like, "Oh, you know what? We've got a solution to that problem.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk with us?" So it's a great way to generate. Finding out where the pain point is, because that's what sales is all about. Like, where are you frustrated? Oh, I have a product that will deal with that frustration. And they go, oh, great, let's talk some more. And you can build up a relationship. They may not buy you, but you got a much higher chance than just spamming out to a bunch of people. So it's very good for targeting.
And you can use that project section for, let's say you have 4 major hot buttons and whatever it is that you sell represent. So for web design or for financial planning or for gamification or whatever it is, let's say the problem is, I don't know how much money I'm going to need for retirement. So you put a thing in there, how to calculate your retirement fund or whatever. And they click on that, and it goes to a calculator that's also a capture page. I mean, it's like Crayola simple, but people won't realize it because they'll just go, "Oh, I can click that. What does that do?"
And then get a free report.
Yeah.
Fill in this information, get a free report, boom, and they have to put their email in there, and then soon that automatically goes into your
Database.
Yeah.
well, whatever database. But then it goes into like a 6-month advertising campaign with letters. Boom, 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 boom. So it's
And the other mistake
shooting
is
fish in a barrel.
text. People don't use all the text. If they give you
Okay,
200
okay.
characters, use all the characters.
Yeah, what
you
Ian's
can.
talking about, each one of the sections that you can fill out, information, education, stuff like it has a maximum word count or character count. You should try and maximize that.
Yeah, if it's 200 characters, figure out a way to use them because
That's SEO.
each character gives you SEO. So
Yeah.
you want to be doing it. Now, it has to be English. The reason I've talked about stuff in your profile is there's these idiots who have like 30 projects and they're all like,
The same
social
approach.
media, social media, social media, SEO, social media. It's just goofy. And people look at that and they go, okay, this guy's an idiot. Next, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they may get found, but they won't get business.
Well, they look at it as fake authority, so move on to the next person that's genuine.
Speaking of genuine authority, are we
Yes.
done with LinkedIn, or are we going to keep going?
Oh, we can this is the
I have a
LinkedIn show,
question.
man.
Let's go. Let's go. LinkedIn.
I have a question on LinkedIn.
Yeah, shoot.
Is there any downside to having poor quality contacts? Like, I have people that I hardly even know contacting
Nope.
me and want to connect, and should I connect with them?
What do you mean by poor quality?
Yeah.
People you don't know?
He doesn't really know them that
Well,
well.
people I don't know, or maybe I don't
Okay,
like so much.
this is a very, very
If
interesting.
you
good
don't
question.
like them, don't put them on your profile.
No,
if
no,
you
it's
like
just-
them,
no.
then yes.
What happens with market? Like, okay, let's just take the whole LinkedIn formula out of the way. If you network and you meet somebody at a board of trade, say, hi, I'm Bob, blah blah blah. You don't get work from that person. You get work from that person's network.
Yeah.
And that is why LinkedIn has this double tier. It's like, oh, you have 2,500 people, but you're connected to 16 million people. And
Yeah.
that is where the cash is.
Yeah,
That's
because
where the
what
money
people
is.
try and do, and this is what you pointed out, James, really well, is you get someone on a group and they just like trying to sell in the group. It's not necessarily that person; it's who that person knows. So let's say the average person on LinkedIn, like on Facebook, has 200 to 300 people that are connected to. Some of them are close friends, some of them aren't. Each person might have a person in their network you're not aware of that could help you. You won't know that unless you connect with them on their network. So, my recommendation with LinkedIn is obviously if you got like some stalker ex-girlfriend from years ago, that's a different story. But some business person that you don't know, I would add. You know why? Because you never know where that connection is going to lead you. People try and sell that person, which is not always the best attitude. What I try and do is just help everybody that connects with me and opportunities present themselves. I mean, that's the way I look at it. You can sell people directly. It's possible, but you want to be careful, just like any other social media network. I mean, people send me, I usually get 20 or 30 emails a day now through the internal LinkedIn email system about stuff that, like, I don't know these people from Adam. I don't care, but they should because they're damaging their network.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so
I want to throw in on that one.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are people that I don't know a lot that I add on my LinkedIn,
Yep.
but there's times where, like, if they're asking me to approach other people for them or something like that, then I'll have to meet with them offline to see about that. But as long as they seem pretty decent, like, I agree with Ian.
But if there's a person you've worked with in the past and really you didn't either get along or
No.
they weren't very good, would you add them?
No,
That's totally your
I don't
call.
have my bosses on there.
That's totally
you
your
can
call.
you could
That's
you could
totally your
add
call.
them. You don't have to recommend them.
Because from what
I
I'm
wouldn't.
hearing is everyone's saying, oh, we just need more and more connections, and that's the be-all to end
Well,
all.
I
It's
mean,
not a be-all, end-all if you have a lot of connections. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got over 500 connections, and I mean, sure, I've got a good network, but it's all about working with your network and making your network work for you rather than the amount of connections.
How about friends versus work friends? Like
Separate
people,
them.
colleagues? Because you can
Well,
separate them.
are you familiar with the contact section on LinkedIn?
It was a little bit.
Okay, well, as you grow your network, and I didn't do this until a little bit too late, but I've now got it done, so it's fine. I would recommend setting up tags as soon as possible and categorizing people. There's a couple reasons. Number one, you can break them down in smaller areas. Number two, you can send email through LinkedIn to up to 50 people with one click. So ideally, you want those. I think you can do up to 200 of them. Ideally, you want to keep them around 50 per. So that way, I can target. Like if I wanted to send someone who, say, is a marketing person, I have a group for that. I want to send someone who's, say, in my case, an automotive manufacturer. I got a group for that. I mean, that really allows you to
that
filter
makes
them. Now,
sense. That
people
makes
that I
sense.
work with, they're pretty much all in the network. I don't worry about that because it's a professional network. Now, if you're at a company, and companies over the next 5 years will probably get into this, they can have a corporate account on LinkedIn that basically means when you leave the company, they take that LinkedIn account back. So you want to be aware of that, but more importantly, if you're worried about what you're posting on LinkedIn and that may, find somebody, you probably can't control that because they're on LinkedIn, they're going to see the feed anyway. But if you don't want them on your network for personal reasons, you don't have to have them on there. It's like a Facebook account.
Yeah,
right?
I would figure out which ones are LinkedIn connections, which are business contacts, and which ones are your friends, because you're probably going to go Facebook more often and interact.
But
with
I have
those
an arch
people.
rival, and here's what I did. I connected with them.
Arch
because
rival?
it's
Anti
better-
Paul, he's an
Uh-oh,
anti-Paul?
arch rival.
It's better to keep your friends, your enemies close.
That's a lie.
Yeah, no, that's true. So
I don't think there's. I mean, I've
careful,
got
Paul.
competitors in my space. I have had some that say, hey, you know, I don't want to be part of it or whatever. But you know, the hilarious thing about there, and you brought that point up, I can see what they're doing anyway because they're posting, so I know what they're doing anyway. But the thing that's funny, I think, about all social media, but LinkedIn is part of that, is people really feel they can hide things. They really can't unless it's private posting.
What
I mean,
about-
anything public I can see. So
What about your contact list?
what do you mean my contact list?
Well, you can hide that as well, right? So you could
Why
still
would
have
I?
your large network that you won't personally work off of, but other people that are, say, maybe trying to get into your industry or get through your market share might go through that list and friend those people they see.
Yeah, but
doing
you
it,
can't
right?
protect them. You can't protect that even if you could. It doesn't make any sense because who cares?
Well, that's true, but I'm just being devil's advocate, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so Paul's arch rival's on there. He looks through all Paul's connections and he goes and he starts bad mouthing Paul.
Or not bad mouthing Paul,
Under-
but going
underst-
after his customers.
Understand, but I mean,
Yeah.
you could obviously report that to LinkedIn. You could go after him publicly. I wouldn't worry about that because that's
Public
and I'll go
shaming.
I'll go
I
through.
guy's a
just try
troll,
to
he's
keep
a
him
troll.
close.
Well,
so I know
I'll
what
go
he's
through a
doing.
couple scenarios that I ran into in this area because as I connect with more people, I run into the occasional wacko person. So I ran into one. I won't get into his name, but he's in
Bob.
Toronto. He works in the automotive industry, and he's a little bit closed-minded when it comes to social networking
He
in general,
freaked out.
and more importantly, LinkedIn in specific. So I added him to my network. He wanted to add or whatever, and then I recommended him with the click link recommendations because they're easy because I try to help the guy out. He then proceeded to report me to LinkedIn saying I had no right to recommend him and he didn't want to be part of my network. So I said, no problem. And I emailed LinkedIn and says, you may want to take a look at this guy. He's obviously pissing off people that are your paid members because he's a free member. And I didn't hear anything about it ever since, basically, because you got to remember LinkedIn cares about their pay members way more than their free members.
Sure,
yeah, of course.
absolutely, man.
And you do run into these wackos occasionally, but they're unusual. I mean, most people on LinkedIn get it, and they want to actually forge connections, and they want to do business. They're not really interested in stalking people, really.
Well, it's virtual business networking.
Yeah, I mean, it's very
awesome.
much like any other business network. Like you go to a business networking event in Vancouver, it's filled with Vancouver business people. This is filled with international business people from all over the world. So yeah, obviously different countries are going to have different personalities. I mean, I can't see too many networks where I meet a guy a couple days ago from Israel and I have a phone conversation with him the next day and then it becomes a business alliance a couple days later.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in Vancouver. It does happen on LinkedIn. And
Very cool.
that's kind of the power of it, in my opinion. But the power expands the more connections you have, because of course you run into things.
So I have a quick question
Yeah,
about
shoot.
the open networking on LinkedIn.
Okay, well,
are you for that or against it?
there's people that say they're lions or lioness. There's people
Yeah.
that say open networkers. There's also, if you're a
Dirty
pay member, there's little
skank.
icons. These little icons, like there's the LinkedIn Gold
There's
icon.
a circle
and the
one. What's that
circle
one?
one is just open network. I think it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
How do you get that?
You can add it to your profile of a pay member if you want. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the way I look at it is anyone who's interested in joining my network that I have some common threads or I think there may be, or I'm even just interested in them in general, I'm going to add them because I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
If they become a problem later, I just remove them from my network. I don't worry about it. In terms of putting stuff in your profile, so for example, you may see people on their profile and they put in the header, open networker or lion or all this stuff, their email address, their phone number sometimes. That's a violation of the LinkedIn agreement. Not to say you can't do it because they have 220 million members, so they won't find you out anyway. But I'd recommend not doing it because you're hurting SEO by using those characters to do that.
So basically, what you're saying is when you're by doing that, it's just like saying I auto follow you on, or I will automatically refollow you if you follow me on Twitter. Same idea.
It depends on the person, but that's the theory.
Yeah.
But when you take those characters out of, like, the most important SEO is that tagline under your name. It's weighted. So
Yeah.
if you use that up with like an email, that's fine, or a phone number, that's fine. You have to remember, though, that people that are out there trolling, for lack of a better term from James here, can then pick up a phone and call you or harass you.
Yeah.
Because now you just basically painted a target on your head. Oh, yeah, email me.
Is
So
your
if you want
refrigerator
more
in-
email, go ahead.
And
you
so
know?
you put your phone number and your email there, but then you're losing out on potential.
No, you put
keyword
it in your
link.
in your actual
I
profile.
would put it in your profile, not in the header, because when I do a search,
Okay,
I have
Ian,
those 15 people.
Where
Yeah.
do you put it in your profile that makes it easy for people to find? Because sometimes even if
You can
it's
move it around
there, people don't see it.
I would put it everywhere. That's just my opinion. I mean, if you look at my
Yeah, you
profile,
don't
I
have
got
to
a
just
phone
put it
number
once.
like everywhere. I got links everywhere. I've got websites everywhere in every section as many times as possible because people, as you know, aren't the brightest sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And you just want to be sure they find it.
Before we shut, because we're kind of running out of time, is a very, very big tip. Ian, you experimented with making vertical lists compared to comma delineated lists for key topics. And this is a way of putting in your keywords in a legitimate way. It's like skill sets, social media, photography, And so what would the results?
I like the vertical ones. It's easier to read, and people seem to be more interested in it.
Vertical list compared to with a comma.
The block you can't
a block
read.
of text you can't read it.
And if you're old, you can't read it at all. Like it's painful.
That's me.
Well, it's visual clutter.
Yeah, I mean, you get these people who do them with all these they have asterisk, they've got their star or whatever it is, and it just looks goofy. I don't know. I played around with both. I still think the vertical lists are better.
Yeah, but you've got several vertical lists.
I also have some horizontal. I'm playing around with it, but I still think the vertical ones are better.
Okay, so the way you're doing it, that isn't. I mean, theoretically, you're kind of cheating the profile by doing those lists, but they look more legitimate because of the header you put on there. It's like skill sets, boom, 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 all your skill sets, and you get to use, if you got, for you, Margaret, you could say insurance advice, insurance strategy. Well, that's insurance.
Well, you could do a bullet to make it legitimately.
Can't I make them more interesting than that?
Well, absolutely. I'm just like, hey, come on.
Like burlesque insurance gal or something.
Oh,
that'd be good.
Now here we go.
Who's going to be profiled on women talking tech?
And of course, in the videos, if you're smart with video, you could also put your email in a video, obviously popping up. Oh, email me. Here's my email, right? Because you can.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, they're not stopping you, so giddy up. Also, underneath the videos, you can put little taglines if you want. Right,
so you could use LinkedIn in conjunction with Nimble, right?
You could
import your LinkedIn.
Yes, I'll be talking about Nimble next week, I believe.
Yeah,
and Nibble.
And if you're a PowerPoint person, SlideShare does have some cool tools. The problem with SlideShare is PowerPoint presentations just aren't all that interesting, and most people won't watch them.
Water. Yeah.
So I just think it's
got to
dead.
have the voiceover attached.
Go video or go home.
Yeah.
I
mean, PowerPoint, really?
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
Can I ask a question about?
Please.
Of course you can.
For God's sake, Bonnie, hurry
Ask
up.
a question.
Oh my God, woman.
Okay, so not that I would ever do this.
No, not that you would.
No,
we didn't hear from you.
Disclaimer
There would be lazy people out there that would. So I search social media, and I see the top 4 people in the world.
Yep.
And then I take their description and mash it all up and make my profile.
Yep. The same.
Is that okay? Yeah. Or I take just the top person and I slightly maybe change 20% of it, because let's face it, social media people are pretty much all the same, except how long that they've been doing it. So why wouldn't I just nick someone else's profile and put it on mine?
Well,
but you also have to remember that those people that are on page 1 are generally pretty sharp, and they'll be looking at it daily. So if you try and do that, they'll just change theirs, or they'll adapt. Generally, they do. Okay. So, and also, I mean, if I'm 20-year-old college graduate and I want to be like super guru of the universe, and I'm going, I went to XYZ high school, I went to XYZ college, and I got 20 years of LinkedIn experience. Yeah. That's not going to be very believable very long. Plus, if they call you, you're going to have to actually go, okay, I noticed all this on your profile. When did you do this? Because it doesn't look like it makes sense to me.
No, I understand that. But there's probably a fair amount that you could nick from...
Well, absolutely, Bonnie. What you're saying is that's a legitimate strategy.
If you steal from one, it's plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's research.
I mean, if I see something that's interesting that I think can improve my profile, I'm going to try it. Because you should A/B test everything. Now, as that person gets better, and I'm sure that number 1 LinkedIn person in Canada probably will. She's pretty slow, but she'll get better. I'll adapt because I can.
You want to revisit them.
Yeah.
It's like, what have they done to their website? Oh my God, they've done comma. Okay. And then you go back and you totally update your whole site. The thing is, like LinkedIn, if you have a complete site, it's not 20 words. It's like 147 characters.
Yeah.
It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of words. So updating little tweaks, it's a lot of work. So
it's like SEO. Like if I do a website with SEO, does Google change the algorithm?
All the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have to change your website?
Oh, hell yeah.
Is that a good thing for job security?
You betcha.
This is the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
with LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You have to constantly look at improving it all the time.
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
When you did a social media search for
Yep.
like the whole world,
Yep.
now the ones that showed up in like 1, 2, and 3 had nothing to do with the number of connections.
No. Connections are irrelevant. It's all profile. It's an Oracle database, and it searches based on keywords, and it's also connected with Google. The cool thing is, if you want to see how fast it works, make changes to your profile and do a search. Your profile will change ranking probably
So essentially, if I
immediately. Like as soon as you change it and enter it, it's good. It's done.
if I take what Bonnie just said and take it to the next level, meaning if I mirror somebody's profile, not
Yep.
that I will, but
Well, I'm not saying anything about what you will, but go ahead. Yeah.
and the person that I'm copying from has 40,000 connections and I have 500.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Makes no difference. The
Yeah.
amount of connections, the max it'll ever show is 500. Doesn't matter how many you
And
have.
now, I'm going to jump in here because that's a very good point. You know, if you've got like 20,000 connections or 10,000 connections, let's say even 1,500 connections, which isn't bad, and you got 500, you want to build at 500, by tweaking your site, your LinkedIn profile and having great SEO, because that's what this is, doesn't make you connect to people. It's your ability to use LinkedIn to connect to people. And that's why I brought up that tip about, you know, as Ian to bring out the tip, it's not what you have in your profile, it's how you use your LinkedIn profile strategically, which will build your community. And I would think the biggest thing is helping people, answering questions in group forums, because as soon as you do that, say people will try to connect with you. And what Ian said, if you want to connect with somebody in a large company, I remember he talked to that, blew my mind. You want to talk to the president of Ford in Canada, you don't target him. You target every other person in his network, which is all his staff. And let's say he has 30 key staff. You connect with all 30 keys. And then he goes, oh, by the way, I'd like to connect with you. And he'll look and say, oh, my God, he knows everybody. I have to connect with this person. He has no choice but to connect, because if he knows everybody, he knows he should connect.
So if you look at the section people you may know, and that's a great point, Bob.
I hate
Just like on Facebook.
I don't like it.
Well, that works, but you can do that.
You're just
But just
jealous.
like on Facebook, it'll tell you how many common connections. So clearly,
Yeah.
you don't want to connect to. You don't want to send an unsolicited connection to one person that you have one common connection.
Yeah, but
if
if
you
you
got
got five-
500, it's a different story.
Or even 5.
Yeah.
I mean, because what Ian says is like, oh, I got 5 people. You copy, select, copy, and say, oh, by the way, I just noticed that we have 15 people in Connect, and then you paste those 15 people and say, I'd love to connect you with my network, and they look at those. So, holy crap, he knows like 7 of the most important people in my network. I better connect with this guy, because they have no idea what your relationship is with those other people. So they freak out. It's
Well,
like,
you can also get help though too. That's another thing you can do. You can have someone.
people don't have time to ask and research. That's the thing. It's like you get, like I get it all the time. I get 1 or 2 a day, sometimes 3. It's like, this person wants to connect with you. It's like, okay, automatic, boom. I don't have time. Sure, come into my profile. I don't give a damn. If you're gonna spend all day saying, well, should this person? I'll research them and read their whole profile. And, oh my God, like 45 minutes later, no, I'm not gonna.
That's what I
Nobody's
do.
gonna do that. Are you
that.
kidding?
I do that.
That's people have too much time and aren't making money.
I'm
do that.
I'm very secure on my profile, so I mean, I always make sure I send them a message before I accept it and go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Hey, you sent one to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did that too. I was like, "Thanks for that message, Ian. You know me."
But that's okay. But you're qualified. All you're doing is qualifying, and
Yeah,
you want to
qualifying
have
it.
really, really good connections.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about InMail. But also, if you have a common connection, you can use that common connection to get. So, James, I want to meet this guy. He's on your network. Can you connect us?
No.
That's another way you can do it. But James might, say, hey, you got to buy me some beers first or something. But whatever.
Yeah,
I can help you.
or he says no,
I am-
and then you
I
connect
am-
some other way, and then James says, "Oh, can you connect me?" He said, "No, because you didn't connect me with that."
What I
so
do
fuck
is I
you.
usually go with the beer thing.
Oh, yeah?
Ian's,
No, but
Ian's
beer
right.
thing
I
works.
usually
What
go
goes
with the-
around comes around.
Or
This
money.
is
So
networking,
if you get me
folks.
the new game from this point, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so you're
But I want one more thing. If you're a recruiter and you're using LinkedIn and you don't look at my profile before you send me a thing, I'll punch you in
Well,
the face.
just so you know, recruiters have a completely different LinkedIn site. They can connect to anybody they want.
I know, but I still want to punch them in the face for not looking at my stuff because they go, "Oh, what do you do?" And you're like,
Yeah, well, dumb people are dumb people no matter what their profession is.
"But they're recruiters."
Well, that doesn't mean they're smart.
No, but one thing for sure, I like what Ian said. If you want to reach somebody, go through somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I ran into
That is true.
I go to networking events, and then I say, for example, run into Bonnie, and I'll go home and I'm like, you know what, Bonnie was interesting. I wanted to connect with her, and I'll send her a connect request, and she flags me for for spam or
I did that.
inappropriate.
I
action.
did that.
and then I get
No.
then I get sort of banned from
No, no.
Facebook or LinkedIn. for a week.
Never ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness. The LinkedIn guys be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, just don't do it again."
Yeah, it's based on sales.
Yeah, I did that. I uploaded 10,000 connections from a database I got, and then basically LinkedIn shut me down. And I had to be, oh, sorry, I was just trying to. I've got 5 different websites, and I'm trying to integrate it. Oh, no problem. Boom, and they just was done.
Wow.
So you just no problem. I
Now
mean,
you-
they're
now
there to
you-
help you.
now you tell me.
And I don't even have a paid account.
Yeah.
But
So-
I would get their information before you go home, though.
Especially if they're blonde.
So Ian,
Yeah.
so you're basically setting up a funnel,
Yep.
and
Yes.
So what do you do to convert them once you?
Well, there's a
Oh,
number.
here's the
there's
magic.
a number of different ways to do that. First of all, it's the only social media site that allows you to export email addresses. So of course you can export and use traditional
Yeah.
email tools, or if you're smarter than that, which some people are, you can email people within LinkedIn. The challenge there is, and you may already be aware of this, some people think that they can beat people down with spam on LinkedIn. Not a good idea. But what you can do is set up a group and target them that way. Now, if you want to go to the next level, what you can do, for most people have contact information in their profile. You can build lists based on that. You can also export these into like an Excel spreadsheet. You can do all that kind of stuff. There's a button on the bottom that says export connections. The only thing it doesn't do yet, and I'm sure it will have it eventually, is you can't export specific tags. You have to export all of them. So in my case, I got to export 4,395 as of right now. And then I have a database. I can use that database to market to people. Now, how am I using that? It's a great question because Bob and I are working on this right now.
Yep.
I can take that database and I can basically enter it into a CRM system, online or offline, and I can use it for marketing and sales because I have a list of people. I can even break them up because before I call that person, I can look at my CRM on one screen. I can look at LinkedIn on another screen. Oh, by the way, I noticed you went to the same college as a friend of mine. You have very, very good data on someone before you even pick up the phone.
So what CRM are you using to?
That's what I was going to
Currently, I'm using one called Pipeline Deals, which is a simpler version of Salesforce. The reason is Salesforce, most salespeople can't wrap their head around it.
Yeah.
And it's web-based and it's
Way too
inexpensive.
complex. Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Nimble.
What do you call it? Highrise did so well because they took the Salesforce idea and turned it into something super simple.
Well, yeah, but there's an advantage to Salesforce with LinkedIn because they have a product called Jigsaw. And
Yeah.
Jigsaw integrates really well with LinkedIn. However, Bob and I had a conversation, what was it, about 8 months ago?
Yeah,
with
with the
one of the sales
New
guys
York
from
dude.
LinkedIn Corporate out of New York City. And there is some new stuff coming for small business from LinkedIn, but he told us it was going to be here already. We're going to have to pester him and see when we can find that out. But Bob and I will also be talking shortly about these guys in Israel have a really cool Hootsuite-like product for
Very
LinkedIn
cool,
for
very
salespeople
We
and
tried to
business
get him on
owners.
the show tonight,
Octopus.
but
Very cool,
Yeah.
very cool.
It's Octopus, right?
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very, very cool.
All right. Well, where can people get a hold of you?
You can look at
LinkedIn.
me on LinkedIn. It's Ian
Oh,
Nethercutt.
God, yeah. Don't
Or-
connect with me on
And
LinkedIn.
Or
do
you
you-
can join my group where we're going to be sharing LinkedIn tips.
Do you do-
It's called How to Create Real Clients with Social Media, and it's branded social content group. If you're curious, it's open to everybody. We're going to be putting lots of great content on there.
Cool. And do you do coaching yourself on LinkedIn?
We do. We're working on pricing. We should have that by Friday.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And that's the end of the show.
All right, sounds like we'd just like to thank our sponsor, Okanagan Springs Black Beer, for getting our two hosts fucking pissed. It's awesome. They are great. In fact, we interviewed the what was the guy? The Brewmeister.
The Brewmeister.
Very nice.
yeah.
That guy drinks beer like water. He is impressive. It's a German descent.
He can
so,
drink
you
it
know.
because he created it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So hey. Where do people
So can
get
we.
all these call-ins and stuff if people want to do
Holy
some
smokes!
obscure
Yeah, we
calling?
got a lot of calls this week, and
And next week we're gonna have some.
you know what? We forgot about Carlo's question.
Nah, we'll do it next week.
All right. You can call 1-877-636-1474 and join the
Marcel's just
conversation.
arrived. Watch out. Ooh.
All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Same bunker time.
Same bunker channel.
Bye.
That's the Black Beer channel.